Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. So now I'm going to discuss about the science and technology section. This section is one of the most important section when it comes to preparing for UPSC CSE, whether the prelims exam or the mains exam. And today I'm going to discuss about those areas from where UPSC has asked question in CSE 2023 mains exam, and also I'm going to discuss with you about those topics where there is a possibility of UPSC asking questions in future times to come. And also today we are going to discuss about how your preparation should be aligned when it comes to preparing the science and technology as a subject, right, for the UPSC syllabus. So now let's start the discussion. Let us understand like what is the syllabus that UPSC recommends as part of the mains preparation. So as we all know that science and technology is part of GS paper 3 of the mains exam. So in GS paper 3, along with other areas, we have science and technology as a prominent area. So these are the, let's say, 3 lines of syllabus that UPSC has mentioned in the mains exam. And mark it that every year they ask at least 3 questions from science and technology in the mains exam. So one of the area is science and technology developments and their applications and effects in everyday life. Means any new technology that is being developed, what is their application, right? What is their effects in everyday life? So the thing is, this particular line of the syllabus talks about that we should keep updated with the recent developments with respect to science and technology. Okay, we need to keep updated ourselves. Then second is achievement of Indians in science and technology, indigenization of technology and developing new technology. From each areas UPSC has asked question in the past. Okay, for example, from achievement of Indians they have asked questions from, let's say, M Vishweshwarya and his contribution. He has asked about many other, let's say, like, people who have contributed to the development of science and technology in India. Okay, and indigenization of technology and developing new technology. Then the third area is awareness in the field of information technology, space, computers, robotics, nanotechnology, biotechnology, and issues relating to intellectual property rights. And from the third line of the syllabus, there are many subsections. For example, information technology, space, computer, robotics, nanotechnology, biotechnology, IPR, etc. So from each section also UPSC has asked question in the past. And this year itself they have asked a question from the space technology, right? They have asked about moon mission. Moon mission they have asked, right, this year. So that's the thing. So now we are going to understand about, let's say, the questions that have been asked in this year's exam. And before that, let us quickly see the trend analysis. Trend means like like how many questions UPSC has been asking, right, since 2013. So if we see since 2013, so 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, okay. So it's let's say about a decade. 11 years of analysis we are going to do, okay. So if we see on an average, UPSC has asked question with a weightage of, let's say, 45 marks in 2013, and then 37.5, 50, 37, 45, 40, 50. So the thing is, marks ranges between 30 and 50, okay. Marks ranges between 30 and 50. On an average, we can say about 40 marks questions is asked by UPSC every year, okay. So 40 out of 250, okay, into 100. So this is approximately, okay, this is approximately 20%, little less than 20%. So 20% weightage is of science and technology is in GS paper 3 of the mains exam. This year UPSC has asked 3 questions that are directly from science and technology and 4 questions that has, let's say, application of science and technology, okay. So you need to be aware about those areas from where science and technology is related. And in this page I have also talked about, I have also mentioned the question numbers. I mean, like question number 5, 10 marks, question number 6, 10 marks, question number 16, 15 marks, right? In this year's paper, let's say 2022. question number and their marks is mentioned and overall marks is mentioned. So like, this will help you to identify those questions that are from science and technology section. So now let us quickly give a glance on those areas from where UPSC has asked a question. So the first question, it says introduce the concept of artificial intelligence, right? How does AI help clinical diagnosis? Do you perceive any threat to privacy of individuals in the use of artificial intelligence? Okay, so this artificial intelligence is a relatively new field. Okay, it's a relatively new field, and recently artificial intelligence has made huge news because of OpenAI. They have launched generative AI. Okay, and artificial intelligence is being used in very like many other sectors as well. In this article, they have asked about like, how artificial intelligence will help in clinical diagnosis. Why they have asked about it? Because the thing is like, I will give you one simple example. For example, all those people who have TB, or let's say they may be having TB, if they go through any kind of X-rays, if X-ray is done, right? So we can have, let's say, large number of X-ray copies of, let's say, thousands of people. And if we scan those X-ray copies, through a system that is AI enabled, that is artificial intelligence enabled, so that system will be able to detect, right? It's going to detect, it will be able to detect whether that person has TB or not. It's going to detect immediately within 30 seconds, within a minute. Okay, so that's the functioning of AI. So AI works under some kind of algorithm. So the thing is like, they have asked about that, introduce the concept of artificial intelligence. And how does AI help in clinical diagnosis? Diagnosis means identifying whether a person has a disease or not. Okay, that means diagnosis. You check a person. So doctors, when you go to a doctor, they will check, right, whether you have a disease or not. They will identify the cause of the disease. They will identify the extent of the disease. Only then they are going to prescribe the medicine. And this artificial intelligence actually helps you to diagnose diseases. Basically, let's say there are many new technologies that have been built. Recently, one newspaper article came that talked about a AI system that has been built by a private company. And that AI system is able to, let's say, diagnose presence of tuberculosis, right? So many healthcare facilities in private sector has adopted that technology. Even some state governments have also adopted it. It has got approval from the central agencies. Okay, so central government may also approve its usage in let's say health facilities in India. So this topic is from artificial intelligence. Okay, IT, information technology related thing. Second question, discuss several ways in which microorganisms can help in meeting the current fuel shortage. Okay, so we have, let's say, shortage of fuel, right? Because the fuel that we are using, they are let's say fossil fuel based, and they are limited in quantity. They are exhaustible. They may get exhausted in a very short span of time. In this article, they have talked about, discuss several ways in which microorganisms, let's say comprises of bacteria, they comprises of, let's say, protista, they comprises of virus, they comprises of various other kind of organisms at micro scale. So microorganisms are used, right, for the purpose of generation of fuel, for the purpose of, let's say, generation of energy. For example, if I talk about bioethanol, so that's an example of, let's say, ethanol, and that is used as fuel directly, or it is blended with gasoline, it is blended with petrol. So we have ethanol blended petrol as well. So this topic, it's related to, let's say, we can say it to be biotechnology. It's related to biotechnology. Okay, so this is a 10 marker question. The third question is, what is the main task of India's third moon mission, which could not be achieved in its earlier missions? Okay, so now here they are talking about Chandrayaan 3. Okay, they are talking about Chandrayaan 3 mission. Means like they are saying, what is the main task of Chandrayaan 3? The main task was do a soft landing on the south pole of the moon, and then from the lander, rover is going to come out and it's going to do in situ chemical analysis on the surface of the moon. So they have asked about what is the main mission, main task of third let's say lunar mission. which was not accomplished by its previous missions like Chandrayaan 2. Chandrayaan 2 failed. Its let's say orbiter was functioning, but the lander was not functioning. So they have talked about what is the main task. Main task is do a soft landing on the South Pole, and second is do in situ chemical analysis on the surface of the moon. That is the main task. List the countries that have achieved this task. Okay. So there are 3 other countries who have achieved this task. We have discussed this particular thing in our previous class also. One of the country is Russia. Other country is United States of America. Third country is China. These 3 countries have made a soft landing on the surface of the moon. Okay, they have done a soft landing. However, ISRO or India became the 4th country to have a soft landing. So these 3 countries have achieved it. Then, so there was one part of the question. This is second part of the question. Third part says, introduce the subsystems in the spacecraft launched and explain the role of Virtual Launch Control Center. So when we talk about introduce the subsystems means they are talking about, let's say, the Chandrayaan mission that we have launched. So it has, let's say, an orbiter, it has a lander, it has a rover, it has an integrated module. We have discussed about all of it. So you need to introduce about it, that integrated module, it has lander, propulsion module, it has rover module and all. You need to mention about them, okay, introduce them. And they have talked about explain the role of Virtual Launch Control Center at Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, which contributed to the successful launch from Sriharikota. So this Virtual Launch Control Center acts as a virtual launch center. From here, they are able to control the rocket. They are able to do simulation activity before actual launch of the vehicle, so that they can see that, like, whether any kind of, let's say, like, issues exist or not. If they identify that no issue is existing, I mean, like, everything is perfect, then they will be launching this thing, okay. So this Virtual Launch Control Center was in news on 14th of July, okay, in the Hindu itself. I am going to showcase, like, that all these topics have been taught in the classroom, okay. I am going to showcase that thing with you. So these are 3 direct questions in 2023 paper, and these are 4 other questions that's a connection with science and technology. One of the question is, what is the status of digitalization in Indian economy? Examine the problems faced in this regard and suggest improvements, okay. So when we talk about digitalization, so we mean, let's say, like, presence of science and technology. Digital thing means presence of science and technology. So it's a connected topic. It's related to economy. Second thing, how does e-technology help farmers in production and marketing of agricultural produce? Explain it. This topic has been in news, right? NABARD, okay, in the month of July, they have launched a project, okay, e-technology project, which is going to help the farmers. So that's why it is in news. So the thing is, this is also a connected topic. Then we have another topic. It says the use of unmanned aerial vehicle, okay, means drones, okay, by our adversaries across borders, okay, to ferry arms, ammunition, drugs, etc. is a serious threat to internal security. Comment on the measure being taken to tackle this threat. I have exactly taught an editorial article from The Hindu that talks about this thing, okay, previously. So the thing is, like, although this topic is related to internal security, but we are talking about unmanned aerial vehicle. We are talking about drone technologies. And related to drone technology, I have taught in the, the foundation batch classes. The drone technology has been taught, digital sky platform has been taught, and this particular topic I have taught in the Hindu newspaper analysis, and this article has been written by a former IPS officer. Exact article. If you read that article, you will be able to write exact answer to this question. Then this is another topic. It says the adoption of electric vehicles, okay, electric vehicles, e-vehicles, is rapidly growing worldwide. How do electric vehicles continue to reduce carbon emissions, and what are the key benefits they offer compared to traditional combustion engine vehicle, okay? That's the thing. E-vehicle means all those vehicles that are operated using battery. For example, e-rickshaw that we have, right? It has green plate. Then we have, let's say, vehicle that has green plate. So they are operated through battery, and these batteries are charged. So the thing is, like, they do not emit as much carbon dioxide as is emitted by other combustion engines. So this is a topic which is from science and technology. However, we are talking about that, let's say it can be connected with environment and ecology also. So all these 4 topics are connected with science and technology as well. Okay, so the thing is, like, science and technology is not only related to science and technology, it does have relevance with other fields also. So these are the 7 questions that can be connected with science and technology. So let us quickly see the first question that we have discussed, right? It says, introduce the concept of artificial intelligence. How does AI help clinical diagnosis? Do you perceive any threat to privacy of the individuals in the use of AI in healthcare? Okay. So this concept of artificial intelligence that I have taught in a GS Foundation class number 19, GS Foundation class of January batch. I have discussed about it. I have discussed about its application in various fields, okay? Application in various fields. And this is the link of the classroom, okay? So GS Foundation batch, January batch, and we have discussed artificial intelligence. You can see this video. It's a previous video. Okay, so I have just taken a screenshot to showcase that this topic has been covered in the classroom, and AI helps in clinical diagnosis. Means, like, if you want to scan huge number of, let's say, X-ray copies, so it's going to scan all the X-ray copies. It's going to precisely diagnose whether a person has any kind of ailments. Okay, so that's the thing. Then we have another topic. This is next question that is directly from science and technology. It says, discuss several ways in which microorganisms can help in meeting the current fuel shortage. Okay, we want to address the issue of fuel shortage using what? Microorganisms. And so in the, let's say, like, PT 100 classes that we conduct, in that class, okay, this class has been let's say merged with the Tucker Test Series program. Okay, so we have a Tucker Test Series program. So like any student who attends the Tucker Test Series, they are given, let's say, free classes for different subjects for prelims exam. So in that class, I have discussed about this microbial fuel cells. Okay, these microbial fuel cells are microorganisms. Okay, so using these microorganisms, we create cells. Okay, and these cells provide energy. Okay, so this has been one of the area. Apart from this, let's say, like, bioenergy that we generate, okay, using biomass, okay, biofuel. So they are also microorganism derived. Microorganisms are present in our human body as well. Okay, huge number of microorganisms. Okay, and I have also covered energy storage systems as part of nanotechnology discussion in science and technology class in GS Foundation batch and also in the PT 100 classes. Okay, so these topics are highly relevant with the question that is asked by UPSC. Okay, so this is the thing. Apart from this, this is the Chandrayaan related topic. So, like, as I discussed, that this question has many parts. One of the part is, like, what is the main task of third moon mission, like how the third moon mission is going to achieve the task which was not achieved earlier, okay, which could not be achieved earlier. For that, I have done a comparison of all the Chandrayaan missions of India, of ISRO. Chandrayaan 1, we have discussed about its objective, which objective were fulfilled, which objectives were not fulfilled. Then Chandrayaan 2, right, what were its objective, what were its components. We have discussed that, like, orbiter functioned well, but lander and rover, they could not function because they have crash landed. Okay, they have crash landed on the surface of the moon. So we have discussed, so this objective of having a soft landing on the surface of the moon was not achieved by Chandrayaan 2 mission. So that's why we have launched Chandrayaan 3 mission. This Chandrayaan 1 mission was launched in 2008, Chandrayaan 2 mission was launched in 2019, and then we have launched Chandrayaan 3 mission in 2023. We wanted to fulfill the unfulfilled objectives of the Chandrayaan mission, the previous Chandrayaan missions. So here we have discussed about the objectives of Chandrayaan mission. It had 3 objectives, to be precise. One thing is, we wanted to do a soft landing on the south pole of the moon. Second objective was that we wanted to, right, make the rover rove on the surface of the moon. Like, we wanted to make the rover to travel on the surface of the moon. That was the second objective. The third objective was that this particular rover will collect samples from the surface of the moon. It's going to do in situ chemical analysis is going to share data with us. And it has precisely done it, and it has shared data with ISRO. We have been able to analyze the samples, right? Rock samples from the surface of the moon. So these are the objectives that have been fulfilled that were not previously fulfilled by Chandrayaan-2 mission. This we have discussed in detail in the classroom. So this is a classroom video. So it was an open lecture, a YouTube video, okay, live open lecture. So this lecture I have conducted on 24th of August 2023. Its video is still there, okay, its video is still there. The UPSC exam has happened in September, but like we have covered this topic in the month of August, 24th August, and I have discussed all of it in detail, okay. So we have discussed about, let's say, this mission in detail. We have discussed about previous missions also, and I have given a link with you. You can click on this link. You will be precisely taken to this particular portion of the discussion, okay. It is here. So you can watch this thing for yourself to understand, okay. So we have discussed this particular topic in classroom in detail. So all those students who has attended classes in this classroom, they have understood this, and also those students who attended online, they have also learned about this topic. Then in the same Chandrayaan question, there were other thing also where they talked about, let's say, like they asked about that, like, you know, which other countries have achieved the soft landing. So in the Chandrayaan-3 discussion, we have discussed about, let's say, various other countries, okay. We have discussed about USA, we have discussed about Soviet Union, present day Russia, we have discussed about China, and we have discussed about that these three countries have done a soft landing on the surface of the moon, but not on South Pole, but they have done a soft landing. So this we have discussed in the classroom. So this is asked in the question. And additionally also we have discussed about some other programs. For example, Israel had a moon mission that is known as Bear-Shaped mission, but like, you know, this mission did not have a landing objective, okay. So that's like this thing we have discussed in the classroom, okay. So these three you could have written in the answer in the mains exam, okay. So this fulfills other part of the question, okay. So this is also an open lecture that we have taken, online lecture, video lecture. So I have given a link also over here. You can download this PDF from the description of this video. You can click on this link. You will be taken to this, precisely this particular portion where we discussed about moon missions of other countries and their objectives, right? We have discussed. So this was also a part of the question itself. Then in the question they have asked about another thing. What? They have asked about, let's say, virtual launch control center. So this is just a screenshot about the details of the mission, that, like, you know, how, like, at what distance the moon is located. We have discussed about, let's say, orbits. We have discussed about various laws connected with it. We have discussed about elliptical parking orbit. We have discussed about so many technical things. And in the ED discussion that we have asked, we have asked a question also. Discuss how Chandrayaan-3 is different from earlier two Chandrayaan-1 and Chandrayaan-2 missions. Means this question has a direct relevance with the question that UPSC has asked, because they have asked the first part of the question, Chandrayaan related question, is they have asked, like, discuss the task that Chandrayaan-3 wants to perform that was not fulfilled by previous missions. So this is precisely the same thing, the same notion that we get. Why ISRO wants to explore the lunar south pole, okay? So this is the thing. So the thing is, like, you know, this question is directly related with the question that UPSC has asked, okay? So Chandrayaan-3 has been covered, and this topic, I mean, like, you know, this is, so we have taken a screenshot of the same question again. In the question they have asked about that, explain the role of virtual launch control center at the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, okay? What is the role of virtual launch control center at the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center? So I had taken a Hindu newspaper analysis dated 14th of July, okay? This is 14th of July. This day we have discussed about virtual launch control center at the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, because in this article they have talked about that, like, you know, Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, you need to undertake system checkouts ahead of Chandrayaan-3 launch, and that system checkouts has been done by virtual launch control center, okay? Virtual launch control center, it is mentioned over here. Maybe it is not clear to you over here, but like, if you just click on this link, You will be taken to this particular discussion, I mean like precisely over here. From here you can download the PDF. You will come across this PDF exactly. So we have discussed the virtual launch control center also. Okay, we have discussed in the Hindu newspaper analysis this topic. Okay, so that's why I keep on saying to students that, like, if you are attending the Hindu newspaper analysis, attend it every day so that you learn what are the things that are in development. Okay, so there is continuity of thought. If there is continuity of thought, you will be able to understand and answer the question. Okay, so the virtual launch control center actually is able to perform system checkout before the actual launch of the vehicle, and after doing system checkout, if it is satisfied that everything is functioning fine, only then it does it. And they have done it one day before the actual launch of the Chandrayaan-3 mission. Okay, so this is the thing. And in the ED discussion, I mean like I have taken 2 ED discussions, editorial discussions on Chandrayaan-3 mission. So in one of the discussion I have discussed about, let's say, South Pole, precisely like, I have mentioned about those latitude and longitude where we wanted to have a soft landing, and we have mentioned about the objectives also. Okay, so we wanted to do a soft landing on the south pole of the moon using lander module, and we wanted to make the rover row on the surface of the moon, and the rover should do in situ scientific experiments on the surface of the moon. So we have discussed about all of it in the classes. Okay, so that's the importance of the classes that we are conducting over here. Then, like, if I talk about how to prepare science and technology, and what are the sources that we need to refer for UPSC CSE 2024. For that, I would say that you should think of covering the syllabus of UPSC, the 3-point syllabus that I have mentioned in the beginning of the discussion. So the thing is, you need to think of covering that syllabus, and in the syllabus that they have mentioned about, like, developments of science and technology and their use and application in everyday life. Okay, effect in everyday life. So that's why you need to stay ahead, right? And you need to cover the current affairs also regularly, because this topic Chandrayaan-3 is directly from current affairs topic, and many other topics that I have discussed initially, they are also related to current affairs. Okay, so to develop an understanding on science and technology, you need to first read the NCERTs related to science, related to basic sciences. NCERT of 9th standard, NCERT of 10th standard, 11th and 12th standard. 4 NCERTs, okay, of CBSE board you need to cover. So that will help you to understand the concepts of science and technology in detail. You need to read newspapers regularly, or you can watch the Hindu newspaper analysis that we are conducting. Okay, so because many topics has direct relevance, I have just shown Vikram Sarabhai Space Center and the virtual, let's say, like, launch center, virtual control launch center, like that. And the third part is attend science and technology classes. If you are a student of Lukmaan IAS, right, so you don't need to skip any of the lectures. Attend all the lectures, because in every lecture we try to cover multiple dimensions related to our topic that we are discussing. And that has precisely been the case. That's why the questions has reflected, right, in the exam from the classes. Then prepare science and technology notes. Okay, you attend classes. In the classes, I make you write notes, I dictate notes, we provide, let's say, printed notes also, but you need to prepare your own handwritten notes as well. That will help you to consolidate the topic, because, like, new things also come up in the newspaper. And you need to do value addition on the notes, whatever notes you have provided or the printed notes that we give. Once you receive the printed notes, what you need to do? Anything new that comes up, you need to add up there in the notes. Okay, so because developments keep on happening, right? And also you need to revise regularly, because if you don't revise after reading, right, or after attending classes, you tend to forget. If you revise it, you will be able to quickly recall whenever a question comes in the mains exam or in the prelims exam. That's the thing. You need to practice the previous year questions also. Okay, previous year questions play a very, very important role, because it will help you to understand what is the nature of questions that they are asking, what is the standard of the questions. So if you practice the previous year papers, you will be at par with UPSC in thinking, right? Because UPSC thinks in a certain way. You also need to think in that certain way, okay? And you need to prepare according to the standard of UPSC. Only then you will be able to solve questions, right, in the UPSC prelims and mains exam. And also, what you need to do, you need to attend tests as well. These are, let's say, preparation thing. Test will help you to understand how much preparation you have done. If there is a gap between your preparation and what is expected, in that case, you need to prepare little more using the previous concepts, okay? So that's why test plays a very vital role. Through test, you get to know about new topics that are in news. And also through test, you have an assessment of yourself, where you stand when it comes to preparation of science and technology, okay? So this is the thing. So in this PDF, I have included all previous year questions, right? From 2023, let's say 2022, 2021, 2020. Then we have, let's say, 2019, okay? 2018, 2017, 2016, 2015. So all previous year from 2013 onward, we have included over here, 2013, okay? So all the questions of mains exam has been included. What you need to do, you simply need to go to the description of this YouTube video, download the PDF from there, and you are going to get so much value addition from the PDF. So that's all from my side for the day. Thank you so much from the team of Lukmaan IAS. And thank you so much for attending today's session. I hope you have a great day ahead. Thank you.